Okay, take two. We're going to try that again, and this time, I think, we're working. So, good evening, and welcome to the Sunday Scaries at its new time. And welcome Hanapengu back to the stream for more of Scarlet Hollow. Okay. So we are on chapter 4, and we're going to see the recap now, hopefully, which will be good. For anybody who happens to be tuning in now at its earlier time and doesn't know what's been going on in this creepy, rural, post-coal mining town beset by something very spooky underneath and a history of things that the past generation has been doing. So, and no, it's not Night in the Woods. Anyway. Yes, the main characters occasionally beset by bad headaches and then see weird stuff. Alright, let's see here. Let's kick it into the game. And if anyone is in the audience and can tell us how the audio levels are, that would be greatly appreciated. Okay, here we go. Episode 4 awaits. But awaits no longer. Here it is. Oh, hi, Artemisia. Yes. Yes, okay. Repeating sound in the background. I wonder what it would be. Maybe. I don't know. Because if I pick up the audio a little bit for desktop audio, say something, Hanapengu.
Hello, I am saying more things.
Okay, I'm seeing the levels move. Hopefully that helps a little bit. We'll see. Gonna say continue. Alright, would you like to see a recap before starting episode 4? Yes, full recap. Let's do it. Still quiet, huh? Well, I'll try raising it more. Anyway. The long-lost cousin, the bad news, the 26 hours of bus rides with countless late-night stops in seedy depots that felt unsafe even in the middle of the day. You wouldn't normally find yourself traveling like this, but your cousin bought the tickets. The funeral of Perlan Scarlet, your cousin's mother and your aunt, seemed like something you shouldn't ignore, even considering your own late mother's rocky relationship with this side of the family. Welcome to our family's humble estate. Unfortunately, due to the current state of the house, only a few rooms will be safely accessible during your stay. I wouldn't go wandering anywhere else if you value your limbs. The floors have been known to give out. A single deer remains behind, staring down the beam of Stella's flashlight while Gretchen whines and pulls at her harness.
Pain, rot, decay.
Come on, you whatever your name is, grab that flashlight and help me line up a good shot. As the creatures in the tree line grow louder and more numerous, Gretchen violently strains against her harness. You dive forward and scoop Gretchen into your arms just before she manages to wriggle out of her harness. Your eyes fixate on the dark tree line over Duke's shoulder. God damn it! And now this is, Deputy Franklin is the senior one, right?
He's the younger one.
Oh no, sorry, yeah, the sheriff is the senior one, so he's okay. Got it. Kind of remember for voice purposes. Stella, keep an eye on him for us. Make sure he doesn't get into any more trouble. Excuse me. My grandmother called them ditchlings, and they are a terrible omen, a sign of great suffering and destruction to come. Oh, good. Okay, so apparently Hanapengu's levels are better. Excellent.
Hooray.
From the relative safety of your cousin's uncomfortable guest bed, the events of the past evening seem like something that happened to someone else, though you can still clearly picture the terror you felt in those moments. For now, you are safe, and you're warm. That was day 1, everybody. Oh good, he's still here.
Dust Captain is the best.
But listen, you better stay out of trouble today. I want you home by sunset. I don't want to hear complaints. Just do what I ask and we won't have any more problems. Tabitha takes a few steps toward the door. Sunset. Wow, that is some heavy stuff. No wonder Stella seemed distant. I'm gonna keep my ears open for you. The diner's where everyone comes to gossip, so I hear a lot about what goes on around here. I'll let you know if anyone mentions those monsters or anything else strange or unusual.
Every time I hear that, I think, I myself am strange and unusual.
Okay. Have either of you seen Rosalina around town? I don't want to be a helicopter dad, but she hasn't been answering my texts, and I wanted to make sure she isn't getting into trouble out there. Hi, Dr. Kelly. We were wondering if it would be okay if Reese could come hang out. Nothing strenuous, we promise. Whatever you two have planned is probably beyond what he can manage right now anyways. Stay home. Wait for the week to end. Don't keep putting yourself in the path of danger. This is all I ask. As you leave Tabitha's office, you take a moment to get your bearings, only to be interrupted by a sudden movement out of the corner of your eye. A girl carrying a bundle of snacks pops through a hole in the fence and disappears over the crest of a hill. She didn't. I guess the old Maxwell place doesn't cut it as a secret hangout spot these days. But the Shaw mine? That place was shut down like 100 years ago. After a collapse that killed over 100 people. Spot the ditchlings. You pull out your phone and dial your cousin. What is it? You know I'm in a meeting? A kid just snuck into the Shaw mine. I figured you should know. What? Are you serious? Why do these things keep happening to me? Ever. I'll head over as soon as I can. Just stay where you are and wait for me, alright? God, I don't even know why I'm trying to reason with you. It's not like you're gonna listen.
My dad is a foreman at the continuous mining facility, and he says they only abandoned this mine because there wasn't enough coal left. So it's actually really safe, and we can hang out here whenever we want.
Correction, your father was a foreman at the continuous mining facility. We'll see if he has a job tomorrow morning.
My dad says our house is haunted.
Kanika is interrupted by a pair of thunderous knocks. Sorry. You turn to see Becca and Alexis gone, and Rosalina anxiously hovering in front of a small tunnel in the cavern wall. She freezes as you notice her.
Yay, keen eye.
There is something in the darkness before you that is much louder, although you don't hear it. But you can feel it in your chest, like the deep growl of a predator. What do you think you're doing? Get away from there! Your cousin dives toward you, but not before the light from your phone illuminates the chamber. Seal. Johnny, are you alright? You and Tabitha manage to squeeze through the entrance just as the walls of the mine come crashing down. Holy shit, you're okay. Thank God. And everyone's accounted for. That was a surprisingly close call.
We could have all died in there. What did you weirdos do? Everything was fine until you adults showed up. Becca, shut up.
Yeah, tell her. Tabitha doesn't say a word as the car cuts along the darkened road. You collapse in Tabitha's dusty guest bed, your head empty of thoughts. After your time in the Shaw mine, you barely even notice the dust. But when you close your eyes, you see the shadowy figures that gathered behind Stella in the mines. Your thoughts are drawn to the carving on the wall and to the visions it imparted upon you. There are 2 of them now.
Dustin, Mom.
What happened to your glass house?
Asshole squatter move in. Kick Dustin Mom out.
Oh, that's right. I'd said Seuss for her, right? Okay.
You said, wait, what?
I think the voice for her was going to be Seuss.
Yes. Because she does a little bit of everything around here.
Yep. Okay. As you're ready to leave, Janie approaches from the far side of the kitchen. Tabitha remains between the 2 of you, impatiently tapping her foot. Oh, Johnny, before you go, I heard about what happened last night, dude. I mean, I heard it before Miss Tabitha mentioned it just now, and then I heard it again. I just wanted to say I'm sorry you got caught up in that. You 2 did right by those kids, though. What a blessing, everyone getting out of that situation all right. Morning. Is the new blend ready? Of course. Johnny, if you'd like to keep Miles company, Tabitha and I will just be a minute. Oh, excuse me. Wait, you're Johnny, aren't you? My name's Bo. I'm Duke's boy. It's a pleasure to meet you. The policeman told me you saw what happened to my daddy. Tabitha stops in front of a small house on the quiet hill just off Main Street. The Scarlets own most of the houses out here. We rent them out to employees. It's just more convenient, you know? And in no way the problem of old mining towns in decades and centuries past. Your cousin pulls out a heavy set of keys from her pockets. She picks out one marked with a bright strip of green tape and unlocks the door. Come in. Don't worry, it's empty. Wow, what a cut. Like, it makes you think that this is what's happening inside. And that is not the case. There was a time cut there.
Yeah. Also, company town.
Yeah, exactly. No problems at all with everybody buying all their goods from the company store and having their mortgages, bought through the company town and everything else like that.
Totally fine.
Yep, that's a stable, robust, anti-fragile economy right there. When the company wins, everybody wins. Anyway, yep, Mayor Jimmy is a dog. And judging from the series of portraits lining the walls, Tabitha wasn't pulling your leg. Every mayor of Scarlet Hollow in living memory has also been a dog. You can tell this dog is the mayor from his little sash and his fancy top hat. There's a regal air about him, almost as if he knows the position of authority he's been elected to. Yep. Paying the company script, exactly right, Artemisia.
Mm-hmm.
Before you can catch up to your companions, you're intercepted by a nervous man with a cross around his neck. Oh gosh, what voice?
I don't think you had picked one for him yet.
I think I might have, but we'll see.
And didn't verbalize it?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Sounds like old Gretchen and the mayor may have had some unresolved issues, wouldn't you say? I'm Pastor Daniel. I take it you're Johnny? Everyone's been buzzing about you. I'm sorry about your aunt. I'm sure she's in a better place now. If you'd ever like to discuss your beliefs, my door is always open. The basement is what you might expect out of a tortured artist who spends all his time confined to his studio. Discarded canvases line its edges, while trash and sketches leak out from their piles in corners of the room, hiding bare cement floor. Ghoulish faces coat the walls in paint, sneering out at their creator. Your mom's so scary. She can be a little intense, kind of overprotective, which I guess makes sense. Anyway, make yourselves comfortable. You'll have to forgive the mess. I've been distracted lately. I haven't been cleaning much. Dinner is already laid out. Dinner rolls, spaghetti, and a light salad. Kanika anxiously picks at her food. Stella is nervously talkative, and Reese is suddenly quiet and tense. His shoulders tight as his mother perches on the chair next to his. Dr. Kelly eyes all of you with a sharp, fierce gaze. So, we were talking about maybe watching a movie sometime this week while Johnny's still in town. We'll have to see how you're feeling. I can handle a movie, Doc. Yeah, we'll just sit downstairs in the dark. Reese is used to that. I'm sure he'll be okay. You're always overestimating how much you're able to do, Reese. This is why you keep getting sick. If I get sick, so what? It's not like that's ever gonna change. I'm sick every day, and I'm not getting better. I don't want to spend the last few miserable years of my life holed up in the basement alone just because seeing my friends has been deemed too strenuous. I'm an adult, for God's sake. I can't believe I have to ask for permission from my own mom just to have friends now. Reese stops mid-sentence, wincing in pain and wrapping himself in his arms. Don't say things like that. I'm doing everything I can to try and fix... Silence as Dr. Kelly's eyes shoot open. Reese? Reese abruptly pulls himself from the table and leaves. Ah, you were here sooner than I expected. I hope dinner went okay. Hey, I hope I'm not too late. Have I missed any creepy paranormal stuff? Oscar and Kanika are startled as the door swings open. Seems I'd made it just in time. Alright, let's get this show on the road. I don't have all night. Gretchen. Sorry, I just had to.
I approve.
Whoa. This is where I've seen it. It appears on top of the stain. Stella pulls back the carpet, revealing a hatch. The floor around it is stained in reddish brown. I'm going for it. Wait, do you hear music? Ooh, hang on. Okay. Movement stirs as a figure cloaked in shadows rises to attention. Stella? There you are. I would have found you sooner, but the resident clearly doesn't want me here. It doesn't seem to have the same issue with these miserable little parasites. Bottom feeders always manage to slip through the cracks, don't they? The sins of the father. Artemisia, I think the solution to it is weirder than just government LSD experiments, sadly. But, good question, you know. I also like that you can see Zane's weed leaf on his hat. Alright, so the sins of the father.
Are to be laid upon the children.
One of you must forfeit. It doesn't matter which. Bullshit! I hope I didn't come too late. It wants something, doesn't it? And I think you know which of you should volunteer. That's really, really shady, Sybil.
Right? I had not been sus of her before this, but there's some interesting stuff coming up in chapter 4.
You must be joking. Let's just leave. Agreed. Sybil, you got us in here. Can you get us out? Sorry. Tabitha, are you sure you want to leave this business unfinished? Absolutely. This is not our problem.
If you think it's the best course of action, yes, I can get you out. It's only a question of seeing through the illusion. We're in a basement, even if all of your senses are telling you otherwise. Try closing your eyes and remembering where you are.
Sorry, I can't talk right now. See you later. She hurries off down the road.
Before I go,
Sybil places a hand on your arm, holding you back for a moment.
I'm sure you have questions after everything you saw tonight, but let's not get into it here. I think everyone could use a little rest and relaxation right now, yourself included. If you swing by the tea room sometime tomorrow, say early afternoon, you and I can have a little chat. I'll see you then, Johnny.
Oh, hey, that's neat. I just checked, and I saw that my thing that I put up, the text crawl at the top of the screen is showing up in the stream, which is very good.
Oh yeah, yeah it is.
Hooray, now those things are not lost. Hang on.
You should send me the link for that, because that looks cool and I like it.
It's just one of the things in stream elements, I think. But yes, I will do that in a moment. Hang on. Light levels are gonna get weird. Yeah. There we go. Okay, here we go. You don't even notice yourself entering the guest room and falling into bed. Suddenly, you are just there, buried under your family's musty covers. The spirit of Charles Shaw Jr., aka $3.50 Chuck, now commands the entirety of City Hall, a swirling void of wrath and despair that the people of this town will have to learn to ignore. You know, inflation. Disaster looms its tallest yet over Scarlet Hollow. Wake up. You open your eyes. It's a new day. Yes, it is! Alright. Last night seems so far away. You can almost pretend the horrors you witnessed in the annex were nothing but a nightmare, chased away by the harsh morning light. But you know that the furious spirit of Charles Shaw Jr., aka $3.50 Chuck, yet lingers, locked behind the doors of the town hall, still tied to the earth by its hatred of you and Tabitha. An involuntary shudder runs down your spine. But your thoughts are interrupted by the buzz of your phone on the nightstand. Hey, have you heard from Stella? I haven't been able to get hold of her, although I thought she might have checked in with you. You check your messages, and there's nothing from Stella. We text first. We're good late millennials. Actually, I have no idea how old these characters are supposed to be. I'm assuming, but...
Early 20s.
Okay, so yeah, so they'd be late millennials, right? Not quite Gen Z.
Yeah, well... Yeah, I think so.
Anyway. Ahem. That wing guy didn't come after you, did he? You wait for a few silent minutes. Your message sits undelivered. Wait, undelivered? That's a problem. You dial Stella. Hey, what's up? Just kidding, I'm not able to come to the phone right now. This is actually a recording of my voice. It isn't really me. Technology, huh? Anyways, leave a message, or don't. I never check this thing. This mailbox is full and cannot accept messages at this time. True crime generation. True crime generation goes all the way up, though. Like, I have friends who are Gen Xers who are the true crime generation, so. So many choices. Does Zoe disappear like this sometimes? Kinda, but with everything going on, I don't feel comfortable letting her run off on her own. Look, I know we haven't exactly gotten along, but we should meet up in town and look for her together. Wait, what? We haven't gotten along?
I think she's mostly just referring to, you keep saying, I like Tabby, and she keeps being like, Tabby's the worst.
Yeah, I was about to say, you and Tabitha don't get along. That's not the same thing. Looks like you have your morning plans in order. Alright, first we're visiting Dustin. You open the drawers. They both have bread now, or have a bread now.
Human is back.
Maybe change mind about eating us. Could be the end of Dustin and Dustin Mom.
I would never eat you. I love you.
Dustin Mom know better than to trust. When push come to shove, survival more important than friendship.
Dustin Mom spend too much time outside. It different inside. There enough bread for everyone here. No need eat friends.
Dustin still have childhood innocence. Hope Dustin get to keep that innocence forever.
I like how much like the Dustin Mom voice sounds like a governess. It's very good. But like still possum. Yeah.
That's the goal. Tried to reclaim Glass House last night, but asshole squatter too big and strong. Dustin Mom stand no chance. Might have to live with Dustin forever.
Human big and strong too. Probably more big and strong than asshole squatter.
Mm.
You fight? Give Dustin Mom Glass House back?
Fight someone? Or fight something? I'll see what I can do.
Squatter have sharp things on head. Human be careful. But Dustin Mom would be eternally grateful to Human.
Sharp things on head, huh? Hmm. I didn't think Wayne had anything sharp on his head, so that's very confusing.
Dustin too.
I should get going.
Okay.
That's that. Alright.
I love Dustin and Dustin Mom
It's
so
true.
much.
Alright, creepy doll watch. Mm-hmm. You make your way to the closet. There's no denying it. The doll moved at some point since your most recent visit. But your long-dead relative's creepy doll wasn't the only thing that's different. Someone was in here. Oh yeah, bloody handprints and everything. And judging by the residue that was left behind, you're pretty sure you know the culprit. This means he was in your room. But was he there while you were out the previous day? Or did he enter while you slept unawares, just a few feet away?
Question.
Something to mull over for the rest of the day, and probably every night before you go to sleep for the rest of your possibly short life. Take a shower. Ooh, time to debut a new emote. Because I'm going to say, in the shower, you can't help but wash your hands. Hooray! Wash hands emoji, now available to subscribers. Remember, do your part to save the world, and not let dangerous apocalyptic pathogens roam free. Wash your hands. Yay! Alright, awesome. You step into the guest bathroom and into the shower. It feels good to wash away the grime of last night's haunting, but eventually you'll have to leave this place and confront the rest of the day. In the meantime, you... what do we think about? Let's see. Oh, the door? Yeah. Alright. Do we know how much this impacts the day?
Not very. I think if anything, like the think about someone special can have an influence on the romance, but otherwise, I don't think this has a huge impact, as far as I'm aware.
I'll try that one. Otherwise, it was just going to be think about the fact that the afterlife is real and also terrifying. So,
Yeah, fair.
you think about someone special. Specifically, you think about Avery and their thrill-seeking attitude towards the supernatural. Maybe they're less chill than you initially thought. Or maybe they're even more chill. You're done here. You turn off the faucet and dry yourself off. It's time to face your cousin. You find her in the kitchen, her shoulders hunched in a tight ball of anxiety. They're striking. This week of all weeks. As if I didn't have enough on my plate already. Your cousin's posture is unsurprisingly much tenser than usual. It's possible the strike is even worse than she thought it would be. It probably won't be long before she bolts out of here.
Which means you probably won't have time to ask all of these.
Yeah. Tempted as I am to say to get out while you can.
Yeah, she won't take that well.
Like, I'd be fine to learn about the strike. I feel like asking about Stella might be a good one to, like, snap her out of it. We'll find out. Have you heard anything from Stella? I can't get hold of her. No, but that's not exactly newsworthy. I'm sure she's just processing what happened last night. Bargain in good faith before then, maybe, Art of Musia? We'll see. We weren't the only ones who were traumatized. I can ask about the strike. Ooh, there's keen eye options here. The Ditchlings were not predicting the strike. Oh my god. Usually I'm pro-union, but no, the only time that's accepted as a start of a sentence is if it's going to follow with, but police unions are different. So
to be clear, my favorite follow-up to that, because I've tried it, is your mom just died. Can they not? And that one I can get behind.
I'll go with the how are you feeling, you can be honest with me one, though, instead. Conflicted. It's going to be tough, and despite what a lot of people would have you believe, I'm not relishing the opportunity to pick a fight with my men. I don't think many people take pleasure in breaking strikes. Perlan would have, but that's not me. I don't know, it's complicated. Everything is so complicated. Do you know what the strikers even want, or claim to want? I haven't seen a list of demands. I'm pretty sure it's just the usual, you know, equal pay, reasonable work hours, safety protections, the stuff that bankrupts companies.
Yeah.
I promise you that if any one of them were in my shoes for a month, they'd be singing a different tune.
I mean, she's also just been, like, I've said it before, like, I'll say it again. Perlan certainly instilled a sense of values in her. And although she's a better person than Perlan ever could have been, she was still taught a lot of problematic things.
Taught how to run the mine by her, if nothing else. Anyway,
yeah.
Damn, we're in a tight spot. Here we go. Yeah, I am. Hopefully it'll all be over soon. I don't want to do any of these. Return.
Oh, I'm surprised it's letting you chat more than I thought.
I guess we have a rapport? I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
So, ghosts are real. I still can't get over that. I can. What does that actually change about anything? I still have a mind to run, and you still have a funeral to attend. Do you regret leaving Charlie down there? Not at all. And I don't care if Grandma Eddie killed him. The past is the past, and neither of us had anything to do with it. We can always build a new town hall. We can never get back lost years.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, bold move. I wonder what would happen if they just bulldozed town hall and put up a new one. Would the ghost be able to flee? I have no idea. Alright, it's letting me ask this one, I'll say. So if the mine's in trouble, maybe you could just sell it. Sell the entire estate too. Get out while you still can. Tabitha bristles. I'm not giving up like that. This is the Scarlet Mine. I am not just going to cash out on our family's legacy. I'm bringing the mine back to life one way or another. Don't say things like that, Tabitha. That unnerves me.
Yeah.
Salting the earth first, Artemisia? Yeah, that would be a good idea. Or at least wringing it in salt. You probably should get going, right? Yeah. I've dawdled long enough. Stay safe. No more hijinks. That's I don't know if I would call what's been happening hijinks, but let me know if you get into trouble, okay?
No way that you shan't be hijinking.
Oh, I like that there's a salt emote. It's very good. Okay. Tabitha slips past you, her heavy boots thudding down the hall as she marches away to face her employees. Time to figure out the rest of your day. Let's talk to Frou Frou. You walk over to the cat.
Oh, c'est toi. Qu'est-ce que c'est tu veux maintenant?
Do you
Maintenant?
know what that says?
What do you want now?
You want to know what that says?
Oh, it's you. What do you want now, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it was maintenant was the word that was sounding weird. Anyway.
Yeah, I think I pronounced it wrong. Maintenant.
Can't speak French to Frou Frou anymore, which I enjoyed doing.
Oh.
Oh, I missed you last night, Frou Frou. I missed you last night, Frou Frou.
That makes one of us.
Nod respectfully to Frou Frou. She scoffs, her tail twitching with annoyance. But you can sense she's less annoyed than she usually is. Maybe she's getting used to you. Bye, Frou Frou. Good talk.
I do like the line though about like, thank you for not attacking those possums. If you did, there would be hell to pay.
I was like, you know what? Maybe she doesn't know about them. Let's not bait that into a conflict.
Yep, no, you're right.
She scoffs as you turn away. Investigate the garden. Whatever kicked out Dustin's mom is in the garden right now. You better look into it before you head into town.
Yeah.
The air is chilly today, the overcast sky hanging oppressively over the weed-choked flower beds. You start carefully picking your way through the underbrush. It doesn't take much effort to find a path. Cuttings of prickly raspberry bushes and tangled vines litter the ground around the greenhouse. The glass house, one could say. You step towards the door. It's sealed shut by a lock, and you catch a brief glimpse of a horned shadow through the ancient clouded glass. It was a goat. Oh.
I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do the voice of the goat.
So this is Dustin's
Assuming-
mom's squatter,
Assuming you talk to the goat.
which I'm going to do in a moment. You examine the lock. It looks sturdy. You'd need some tools if you're going to get this open. Maybe Stella or Kanika could lend a hand later. Achievement unlocked, Dustin quest. Alright. What's your name, little guy?
Goat.
Where'd you come from?
I'm just trying to think how I'm gonna do this. Farm. Used to live with other guys like me. Kinda miss him, but not that much. Don't gotta share anymore.
What are you doing in the greenhouse?
Human put me here. Can't complain. Pretty sweet digs, honestly. Stays nice and warm, and there's plenty eats, too.
Did that human have a brown coat and big boots?
Coat, like what, fur? Nah, not brown fur, yellow fur. Just on the top, like all you humans. Don't know what boots are. Can't help you there.
Guess I'll leave you to it then.
See ya! Or not. It's a wild world out there.
You've investigated the garden.
Satisfied with my goat voice, but
Well, we'll see. With
They're
Stella
really
missing,
very
it's best not to
casual.
keep Kanika waiting for much longer. Oh, I know Sandwich then. Well, I guess I could.
yeah. No reason not to.
Making a sandwich. If Stella's MIA, who knows when you'll get the chance to eat. You make yourself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in anticipation for the long day ahead of you. No potato chips in this one, unfortunately. And that's that. Head to town. It's time to head to town. That was a life hack I found out about recently that still kind of blows my mind. Peanut butter and jelly and potato chips in a sandwich.
Oh, what about that is a life hack?
Oh, it just adds a very different texture and taste to the peanut butter and
Okay.
jelly sandwich.
It's just it just makes for a really good and interesting sandwich.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that you don't necessarily expect to be good, but it actually is pretty good.
Fair.
I found it that
We'll
the
have to leave it to other people to
yes.
enjoy.
well, I
I
mean,
guess
you,
if I really wanted
you
to,
yeah,
I
you could
could
do it
try
with almond butter or whichever butter.
I don't like almond butter, but I do like sunflower seed butter.
That's the one. I couldn't remember.
Sun butter.
Yep. You head to the front door and begin your trek to the town below. The sun shines down through a thin layer of clouds, illuminating the path in a watery gray light. Yeah.
Ditchlings.
Ditchlings in the
everywhere.
daytime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At least.
Yep.
Glimpses of pale figures dot your periphery. You haven't seen ditchlings in the middle of the day before. They're getting bolder. To your surprise, you find a familiar face making its way up the path toward you. Hey, I was just coming to see you. I hope you're able to get some sleep after everything that happened last night. I was up most of the night totally wired on adrenaline. Even if I'd been able to chill out a bit, knowing that that thing was right down the street. Yeah, not super conducive to a good night's sleep. Does the library look different now? But can you see the haunting from outside? It's boarded up, but I can't say I've gotten close to see much of anything yet. We could always check it out together. Though maybe we better not tempt it. That ghost seemed pretty desperate to eat your soul last night, and I don't know if I mean that metaphorically or literally. I mean, like, what's the difference with souls? Anyway. Hopefully some slapdash plywood is all it takes to contain that thing. I don't like the thought of it spilling out onto Main Street if it smells a drop of Scarlet blood nearby.
Yeah, that would be a little unsettling. Would be more than a little.
I'm glad Tabitha was with me. If I was by myself, I probably wouldn't have had the guts to walk out of there. Oh yeah? I'm glad you and your cousin got the chance to bond last night. It's good to see her care about something other than the mine. Ooh. Flirt option. You were coming up to see me? That's sweet. What can I say? I'm someone who knows what they want.
Looks like things are going in a positive direction
Yep.
there.
I would have walked up here at the crack of dawn, but I figured I should let you sleep at least a little longer, though not too much longer. I had to make sure you didn't go running off into trouble. Not without me. There's ditchlings everywhere now, even though it's daytime. Avery turns to survey the tree line. I noticed a few on my way up. They're kind of funny now that I'm getting a good look at them, with their scrunched up little Sharpay faces. So, should I be worried about these things? I know they're a bad omen or something, but like, are they dangerous? They're not gonna eat me if I take a wrong turn, right? Not if you eat them first. Oh, I like the flamethrower response. I'd rather not find out. Anyone in town have a flamethrower? You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Julius had one lying around. Hopefully we won't have to ask him for it, though. I'm not that worried. Yet. Have you heard anything from Stella? I haven't heard from her, though we don't text much, and I haven't checked with Winnie to see if she came in for an early breakfast or anything. But if you haven't heard from her, that doesn't sound great. Seeing her like that last night was just awful. She's usually so unflappable. Kanika and I are meeting up to look for Stella. You want to come? Absolutely. I told Winnie I'd be coming in late today, so I've got time. I don't know how much time, though. From what I saw this morning, the diner is hopping. It's absolutely packed with miners. They must be using it as a home base for the strike. Oh, by the way, there's a strike going on. I'm sure you already know that, though. Have to imagine Tabitha would have told you in the morning. Let's head to town. Yeah, good idea. You and Avery start back down the path to town. It isn't long until you once again find yourself on the main street of Scarlet Hollow. Johnny, you made it, and you picked up Avery along the way. Hope you're both doing okay, like, emotionally. Yeah, I'm not too bad. Better after seeing Johnny.
Aw.
That's good. I feel like I got crushed by a steamroller or something. Joints all out of whack, totally exhausted, and super foggy. Mom's been insisting I caught a cold, and I wasn't buying it. But as of this morning, I've come around. It's definitely something beyond exhaustion, even considering the ridiculously stressful week we've all had. But I'm not going to let that stop me from looking for Stella. You still think there could be a rational explanation for all of this? Kanika sighs heavily. Rational? Sure, rooted in the reality that, until a few days ago, I thought was devoid of all magic and supernatural shit? No. Ghosts are real. They can suck you into illusory dimensions and puppet your body like a fleshy marionette. Gross. Next thing you know, we'll find there's a secret society of warlocks running the country, or that angels are real. And you've got to admit, it's kind of thrilling, isn't it? Anything could be possible. Who knows what the new day holds for all of us? It would be a little more thrilling if it weren't terrifying. All the magical stuff we found so far just wants to hurt us. We need a magical being that's on our side. Where are the magical girls when you need them? Sentai versus Cthulhu. Though I guess we already have an animal whisperer, don't we? That's pretty magical.
Yeah.
Wait, you can talk to animals? For real? When were you going to tell me?
Just hasn't
Wow.
come up around.
I'm going to need you to tell me that every animal we meet is saying. This is too cool. You really took that in stride, didn't you? I think the fact that it happened after the ghost puppeteering thing makes a lot more things believable.
I mean, that and Avery probably
Yeah.
would have.
Exactly.
Didn't want
I
to-
take everything in stride. There's no better way to live. Speaking of magic, I'm supposed to meet your mom at some point today. Maybe she'll finally shed some light on things. I'm not sure what she's planning to tell you today that she couldn't have told all of us last night. Maybe she's going to read your fortune? After last night? I wouldn't doubt that she actually could. Your mom's always had a bit of that Glinda vibe going for her.
I don't know about Glinda, but
Yeah. Maybe I should stop making fun of her whole New Age mystic thing. Lots happened in the past couple of days. I need to take a page out of Stella's book and just block this shit out. I need to be focused. I can't keep having all these existential crises. There'll be plenty of time for tea after we found Stella. Is someone manning the old pickaxe while we go looking for Stella?
the what?
Sorry, the old pickaxe is the name of the general store in Night in the Woods.
I see.
Or it's the hardware store, but it's effectively the general store.
Fair.
Anyway. And one of the main characters is the one who mines the store, so... again, parallels.
Yeah, wow. The more you comment on it, the more I'm like, yeah. I mean, they're obviously not, like, the same game, but...
No, but there's parallels. Anyway. Mom and Maz can deal for another day while we go looking for Stella. This is important. Not that the store isn't, but if something happened to her, and I was spending my time minding the register, I don't think I could live with that. Alright, key knot time. Oh. I think last night just pushed her over the edge. I know I've only known her for a couple of days, but it feels like she has a tendency to run from difficult emotions. Usually she just changes the subject, but I guess this time she wound up literally running. And you're absolutely right. And as her friends, we can't let her be alone at a time like this. I've made that mistake before. Plus, she can get mobbed by those weird little creatures, or worse. Exactly. This is no time for anyone to be off on their own. Who knows what kind of weird stuff is out there? After the past couple nights, I wouldn't be surprised if there were actual Bigfoots in the woods. Big feet? Bigfoots? Just waiting to eat any human who wanders too far from civilization. Do Bigfoots thirst for human flesh? Is that some kind of common knowledge I wasn't keyed in on? I wouldn't be surprised is all I'm saying. Okay, let's get started. I don't want to waste another minute. Where to first?
Okay, so one thing to note about this is there are some scenarios in which you can only choose a certain number of these options. However, you are in a position where you can choose all of the options for where to go.
Okay, interesting. Wonder why.
I can tell you if you want, but
Sure.
It's depending on what happened with the ghost the day before.
Oh.
If you give up years of your life,
Okay.
you are way too tired to go do all of these
Oh,
things.
makes sense.
And if you have powerful build, it's a cool little bonus where you get to do one more than if you didn't have powerful build. And you had so when I did my Thembo run, my Thembo got to do one more place than would otherwise have been able to, because of course they sacrificed themselves for the greater good, because that's very Thembo.
Right. And also they're strong enough that they figure that they can withstand it more than others
Yeah. There is a great line if you have powerful build where it's like, I don't even want to think about how many games I lost.
Ha. Anyway. Okay, let's go to Stella's house. A good place to start. Maybe she just slept in. That's what I'm hoping. I would have gone already, but I was kind of nervous about doing anything by myself today. Just in case I ran into yet another horror from beyond the veil or whatever. You make your way towards Stella's house. The door is as pristine as any old wooden door. No bloody handprints in sight. Any telltale sign of Wayne absent. If something happened here, it didn't involve him. At least, not at the front door. Kanika knocks anxiously on the door. It creaks open. I don't know why I'm yawning so much, but anyway.
I mean, you did make it very dark in your office.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm looking straight at the screen, and that's where most of the brightness is coming in from. So.
That's true, but I'm like thinking about if I want to turn on my ring light.
Oh, you can if you want.
Okay.
The house is quiet. The world outside muffled as you take a cautious step over the threshold into the muted air of the living room. No excitable pug rushes to greet you at the door, and you have a feeling that no Stella is going to emerge from the shadows to sleepily greet you. Nobody's here, and I don't think Wayne came knocking at the front door. Yeah, I don't see any goop, but he could have come in through the back, or a window. It'd be a really weird coincidence if the front window was open and someone broke in somewhere else. Or maybe that's just wishful thinking. Guess we won't know till we go inside. Might as well invite ourselves in, right? We're not calling the cops. We don't talk to cops.
Oh, actually, it is worth going to the police station just so you can have an interesting conversation.
Sure, but we're not going to the cops right now.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we should go in. Cool, I'll be brave and go first. Avery casually steps over the threshold into Stella's house. Oh, the princess dog bed.
Yes. Also, I like that big ol' spider plant.
Cobwebs on the boots is an interesting touch.
Those aren't her boots.
Yeah.
I think the implication is that
Yeah.
those are her dad's boots and she hasn't touched them.
Yeah.
Similarly, probably the other set is her mom's.
Yeah. Aside from a corner of the room dedicated to Gretchen, Stella's house almost feels like a museum. Everything's organized with the sort of tidiness you wouldn't expect from someone as rough and tumble as Stella, and only a handful of objects feel like they belong to her. Whatever happened to Stella, it doesn't look like it happened here. Doesn't look like there was a struggle or anything, unless it happened in another room. Or maybe someone or something caught her off guard. You didn't have to add the last part. I'm going to forget that you said that and just be thankful that this doesn't look like a crime scene. Stella's kitchen is slightly messy. A couple cabinets are hanging open, and a loaf of bread sits on the counter by a used butter knife. The crust of the bread has gone somewhat stale, about as much as you'd expect after being left out overnight. Whoever left it here left many hours ago. Oh, the sponge rest is very cute.
Yeah.
It's a little messy, but it doesn't look like anything violent happened here. It's possible she came home, grabbed some food, and left in a hurry, right? Did she have somewhere she needed to be? She didn't say she had something that she had to rush off to. Maybe she just had a panic attack after being possessed. But that was over 12 hours ago. I'd hope she would be home by now if that was the case. Is Stella the sort of person to stop back home and make a snack in the middle of a mental health crisis? Is anyone? Yes. And it's comforting to think that might be all that happened. A panic attack is much more manageable than rotting ghouls or parasitic doughboys. You make your way down the hall to what you assume to be Stella's room. She's not here. Though it's a little untidy, it's the usual sort of untidiness that accumulates when someone doesn't often have guests in their bedroom. There aren't many signs of violence. Any signs of violence, rather. No streaks of blood and pus that might belong to a certain phantom miner. He hasn't been here. You do notice, though, that her jacket is nowhere in sight. It isn't in her closet, and it wasn't on the coat rack in the other room. Stella's jacket is gone, the Letterman one. It wasn't on the rack in the other room. It's not in here, and she didn't have it yesterday. Okay, I'm sold. Between this and the kitchen, she must have come home last night. And it seems like she was the one who decided to leave. No struggle or anything. You go to check Stella's computer. I don't think I'm smart enough. I'm not sure we should be snooping on her computer. Isn't that an invasion of privacy? We already broke into her house, right? For all we know, there could be some sort of clue on there. Like a note detailing exactly where she is.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't break into her house. The door was left wide open. Let's see if it's password protected before we make a fuss about it. If there isn't a password, it's almost like she wants to snoop. Yeah, pretty much. You wake up her computer. It's not password protected. This is just Babytown frolics. Oh my god, Stella, you're a YouTuber. How is your computer not password protected?
Yes.
I don't think it's that big of a deal. What kind of person is going to come to Scarlet Hollow just to try and break into Stella's computer? They can do it remotely. That's the scarier part.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's harder to do and not impossible in every case, but you don't want to take the chance. What are we doing right now?
No, I mean, Artemisia also makes a good point. She does live alone.
Right, but again,
still.
like... Okay,
But people
fair
could
enough.
break it.
Exactly. Kanika sighs. And I'm going to stand over your shoulder the whole time and make sure you don't go to looking for anything personal. Well, especially if let's say, they know where she lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone who seeks to do her harm. And they wait until she's out live streaming in somewhere else, somewhere remote, right? And then they know they can break into her house and get into whatever's on her computer.
Usually live stream from a distance. She
okay.
records the videos and then edits them.
Okay, got it. Stella's
But they
desktop.
could just kind of lie in wait and
Mhm.
get in her house when she leaves.
That too. Stella's desktop is horrifically cluttered. There are simply too many files and folders to fit on her monitor, and they overlap each other in a chaotic multi-layered display. Oh. Yeah, I ran out of room to store my files on my icons on the desktop, so I started putting them in that little recycle bin thing over there.
Oh no. Is that from something?
It's an IT horror story. It really happened to someone. I don't know who. But...
Oh no.
Whoa, how do we find anything on here? I'm suddenly a lot less worried about an invasion of privacy, and a lot more worried about this being a complete. And a lot more worried about this being a complete waste of time. Alright, what tabs are open? It would take you all day to count the number of open tabs in Stella's browser. Oh god, performance is probably slowed to a crawl. Anyway. So numerous are her tabs that you can't see a single icon. A sea of rounded, featureless triangles from Windows Edge to Windows Edge.
Goodness.
Her most recently opened tab is a post on Uncle Carl's Bigfoot Farm, a forum for cryptozoology enthusiasts. The post in question is entitled, "Something Big is Happening at Scarlet Hollow." Hey everyone, was out chasing a skunk ape sighting the other day and I found these weird little guys. My friend's mom says there's something called ditchlings, but I've never heard of them before. Anyone have any good leads? The Bride of Bigfoot types. Camera isn't shaky enough. This is totally staged. Moth Stan responds. Clean footage and some sort of cryptid nobody has heard of except for your friend's mom? The only thing I'm seeing when I Google ditchlings is some city in England. I thought you were legit. Lucky Stars says, guys, since when did high quality footage count as anything other than actual evidence? Those things are terrifying. Gary 2125479 says, since every low budget horror movie started doing guerrilla marketing, I smell an ARG. Hidden Appalachia says, I'm serious. I got a ton of extra footage. Look at this nest. They've been doing something to the animals in town, and they're apparently some sort of bad omen, like the Mothman. Except not warning about crumbling infrastructure necessarily. Except for maybe the mine? Anyway. Mothstain Red says, okay, I'm listening. I love me a Mothman. Lucky Star says, I believe in you. Gary 212549 says, ugh, lucky you're falling right into her lap. I don't trust YouTubers. They're entertainers, not scientists. Oh, sorry. Scientists. The thread continues into the next day. I like that they had to put the sick there so that people didn't, like, send the devs messages saying you spelled that wrong.
Yup. No, the person who typed it wrong.
Yep. Hey, okay, so 1, this isn't an ARG and I would never. And 2, you're not going to believe this, but we went into an abandoned mine last night to investigate things, and I'm pretty sure we found some Tommy knockers. Listen to this knocking we managed to catch on tape. There's a link to an audio file titled Tommy Knockers Real.wave. Just because you put real in your file name doesn't mean they're real. This dude has exposed himself to be a comic book guy, and he'll be voiced as such. 2 supernatural events on back-to-back nights? This is so fake. I can't believe I bought into that River Runner hype. You're so full of it. YouTubers are always going to sell out to big indie horror. This is Kidnapped by Aliens all over again. Also, lol, doughy white thing. Also, doughy white things and now loud popping noises. This is definitely an ARG. Did you sell out to Pillsbury?
Pillsbury wants an ARG. You know what? Never mind.
But like the popping noises being the popping sound that happens when you open a can of biscuits? Wow, okay. Alright. Stop cyberbullying her or I'm going to call the mods. Uncle Carl writes, locking this thread and giving everyone a 7-day ban. No cyberbullying and no self-promo. Thread ends. Ouch.
Like, that must have been so frustrating.
Mm-hmm. Right? Like, come on, guys. Like, you want proof, and then when you get proof, you don't want proof. Anyway. Wow, poor Stella. Remind me never to be internet famous. Here's hoping my SoundCloud stays niche and underappreciated until the day I die. Alright, you check Stella's search history. She hasn't visited many websites since Tuesday night. If she came home after last night's incident, She didn't touch her browser. Her search history is almost entirely work-related. A furious series of queries for various monsters and cryptids that might fit the profile of the ditchlings. That's that. Okay, I think we've seen enough. Thank God.
If you do snoop deeper on her computer and invade her privacy, there are some adorable photos of her and Tabitha, but it is
Aw.
a massive invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the game making that distinction.
Mm-hmm. This sure looks like a room. Any thoughts? I think you about summed it up. This is definitely a room. Of all the rooms that we've been in, this is the one we are currently in. Oh, sorry, I'm catching up on chat. Yes, and library and city hall as well. Artemisia. Anyway. Yeah, nothing much to comment on. This is what her room's been like for pretty much the entire time I've known her. The only thing that's changed is the computer getting a lot fancier. You could use a few more houseplants. I'll put together some trimmings after we found her. She still does those little corkboard with string things? She loves putting the strings on there. I don't think they actually mean anything. They're more for decoration anyway.
I like that.
She's-
Decorative corkboard and string.
She's got a Pepe Sylvia board. I love it. Very good. Okay, I don't think we're going to find much else here. Let's move on. She even unlocked Still Life.
You get an achievement for each one of the places you go. So.
Okay, so she probably came home last night, but she's not here now, and we don't have any idea where she might have gone. I thought I was overreacting this morning. I hope she would just be sleeping in. I can't believe she's actually missing. We'll find her. Where to next? Let's go a little out of order. Go check in with Oscar and Rosalina. They're at the Maxwell place, right? Yeah, the place your oh-so-generous cousin decided was suitable for habitation.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's better than nothing, I guess. It's a roof over their heads for the time being, or what's left of a roof. After everything they've been through, I can't believe she made them stay in a place like that and charge them for it. You don't
Yeah,
get far.
charging them for it is a little.
Right. I was about to say, if it's not safe for habitation, you can't charge for it. But you don't get far before the sound of
Gonna stop
growling and
her.
desperate hisses grab your attention.
Oh. Get away from me! I'm supposed to be an indoor cat! I'm not supposed to see things like you! You don't even talk, you freak!
You turn to see a ditchling approach a cornered pixel in an alley. He must have slipped out of the library with everyone else last night. The ditchling, distracted from its hunt by your arrival, cranes its neck to face you, its eyes settling on you with alien indifference. In the distance, you hear the furious patter of many feet approaching. You won't be alone for long. Hey, quit it! The words feel meek as they leave your mouth, and the ditchling, unaffected, turns back to its cornered prey. Is there a pipe or something laying around? Maybe we can scare it off. There's no time! I'm grabbing Pixel! Before you can react, a small pack of dogs round the corner.
Yes.
They pounce on the creature, pulling it from the wall, and then taking turns biting and tearing at it until it's ripped to shreds. Good dogs. Their task complete, they saunter toward you. What the? Isn't that Daisy? And Scraps. And what looks like every other dog in town. All in some kind of dog gang.
I lived!
Pixel, you got out of the library. Oh, you poor cat, come here. Pixel cautiously walks towards your group before clambering into your arms. He has a comfortable heft to him. I see how it is. Everyone likes Johnny, even the cats.
We found him last night, terrified. I'm trying to think. I want Daisy to have an old lady voice, but not a southern old lady voice.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've never tried voicing Daisy, because I have yet to play Chapter 4 on stream with... Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
We found him last night, terrified and shaking in a bush outside the library. I wasn't that scared. I've even been helping out.
Mm-hmm. Little Pixel here has been volunteering as a scout.
I do like that image. Hang on. The turn to camera is very good.
Don't worry, we were always right around the corner. Those creatures only like to strike out when they have the numbers, but they're hardly very bright.
We made sure the little guy was taken care of till the humans were awake. Do y'all know where he's supposed to be?
So you're the Scraps I've heard so much about.
One and only. This here is Daisy, and we've got a few other concerned locals with us as well. Just making sure the cats and dogs at the holler are well cared for, considering recent events.
There are more of these things in the woods every day, popping out of the innocent bodies of what used to be dogs like us.
Yikes.
He's done us a fine service, but you make sure to keep Pixel inside from here on out. I've got a feeling things are only gonna get worse from here.
I like to see you try. I was an indoor cat, but now that I got a taste of the outdoors, I will never be satisfied by the indoor life. But maybe I can wait till all those monsters are gone.
We'll make sure he gets back to his family.
We appreciate it, human. Word's been going around town that there was one among you who could properly understand us. It'll be good to have you on our side during these strange times.
Two among them. But anyway. Yes, it's
no,
true.
no,
The dogs have formed a militia, or at least a mutual aid group of some kind.
Yes, no, it is a dog militia, absolutely. Odd things are going on around here. It's important for all of us living things to watch out for each other.
So, are y'all some kind of dog militia or something?
Yeah, I suppose you can say that.
I'm sure you've met this town's illustrious leader by now.
When the powers that be abandon you, it's up to the rest of us to band together and protect those who need protecting.
Gretchen really admires you, Scraps.
Artemisia makes a good point.
Oh.
They killed the ditchling. It's a militia.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a needed one.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was more thinking, like, it started out mutual aid, and then one of the types of mutual aid that was needed was a militia, so they became that too, you know.
Alright. Oh, she flatters me so. I'm nothing special, just another dog.
Don't be so modest, Scraps. You're the kind of dog other dogs listen to. That's more than can be said for that Jimmy. Thinks he's so high and mighty just because he can sit and stay the best. As if obedience is the best quality in a leader.
Yeah. Speaking of Gretchen, have any of you seen or smelled her?
Is she missing? Oh dear, Scraps, you don't think.
Gretchen's person would never let that happen to her. Wherever she is, I'm sure she's safe from those things. A dog like her doesn't get to be that age without a watchful human at her side.
Aw. Can you help us find her? You've got better noses for this sort of thing.
We'll do our best. We didn't intend to make any more trips out into the woods, but if it's for Gretchen, we'll take that risk.
She's a well-liked dog in these parts. Been around longer than any of us. It'd be a blow to the community for her to fall victim to these monstrosities.
Good doggies.
Thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
You call me a good dog? Daisy, good dog?
Daisy's tail wags excitedly before she regains her composure.
Sorry. I just love to hear it.
Isn't Jimmy the mayor? Shouldn't you give him a little more respect? He's got that sash and that little top hat.
He'll have my respect when he's earned it.
It's not his fault the humans of Scarlet Hollow chose him. I'm sure he's trying his darndest.
Bless his heart.
Oh, bless your heart. Let's see here. Aren't your families worried about you off on your own like this?
We're country dogs. As long as we come home for dinner, most of us aren't missed too much.
Speak for yourself. I know my family has been worried sick, but I can't let that get in the way of what's important. Besides, if I went home, they might tie me up, and then I'd be a sitting duck. I mean, dog.
Is there anything we humans can do about the ditchlings?
They ain't that hard to kill when there's a whole lot of us. They die easy enough, so long as you don't get caught unawares.
That's why we're gathering all the local dogs. A big pack is a safe pack. Jimmy might not be doing anything to help, but that doesn't mean we can't take matters into our own hands.
Pause.
Yeah, well. Now, Daisy, no need to start in about the mayor. He has his own priorities. So long as he doesn't get in our way, we don't need to go starting trouble.
Well, we best be on our way.
Same for us. For the first time that we know of, those things are out during the day, which means the pets of Scarlet Hollow need us more now than ever.
Make sure the humans keep an extra careful watch on their furry companions.
The band of dogs scampers off. You just had a full-on conversation with those dogs. It is so weird when you do that.
By the way, you
Weird
should
or
watch.
cool?
It's actually only going to happen, I think, in my Karen run.
Mhm.
But there is a different scene if the town hall is available, where they actually all confront Jimmy, and it's a slightly different conversation.
Nice. Anyway, weird or cool? I wish I could hear the other side of the conversation. Seems like there's a whole dog culture in this town I've been missing out on. Knowing dogs are capable of carrying on a full conversation is going to make being a veterinarian really weird. You'll just have to hire Johnny as a translator. You'd be the best vet in the country with someone like that on your staff. Pixel and tow, you and your companions continue on to the old Maxwell place. The old Maxwell place. It was clearly once a mid-century modern home, and undoubtedly quite stylish for the time, but it's been abandoned for unknown decades, and moss and vines choke its exterior, barely concealing cracked walls and dust-clouded glass. This one's you.
Oh, sorry, that is Pixel, yes. Hey, where the heck you taking me? This ain't my house.
Before you can approach, the door opens, and Oscar's head pokes out from the entryway. Hello? Oh, sorry if I startled you all. The walls here are worn down enough that I could hear you coming from a block away. Good morning, Oscar. Just thought we'd stop by to check in. Thank goodness you found Pixel. Rosalina's been beside herself. Oscar's voice is tired. He's had a long night, and it shows, his graying face seemingly having aged in the hours since you last saw him. Please, come on in. Rosalina?
Oh, yes, Rosalina is also me. I'm sorry. I was like, I saw it. Never mind.
Pixel!
Sorry. A little better. Rosalina rushes forward, taking Pixel gently from your arms. Hey, Rosalina. Hey, Alexis. Look who we found on the way up here.
I was so worried. I thought the ghost might have done something to him. Ghost couldn't get Pixel. I'm way too slippery. Totally could have beat up that ghost if I wanted to.
Alexis is helping us put her room together. We don't plan on staying here long, but the girls seem to be having fun with it, thank goodness. Even after all they've been through.
Yeah, this is kind of cool. There's like this weird intercom thing and a jacuzzi. Maybe you guys could fix up the place. It doesn't seem that run down.
It is a lot cooler than I thought it would be. And I've already met a ghost, so if it turns out to be haunted, that's no big deal.
You weren't traumatized after last night?
I don't know. The past 2 days have been really weird. But I figure if I survived all that, it can only get better from now on, right? And we went through it together. I think that helps. It's helped me, at least.
You two are way stronger than me. My nerves are so frayed, I feel like I'm the one... I feel like I'm one more traumatic event away from a heart attack. Same. I think Rosalina's got the right idea. We're out of the ghost dimension. It can't hurt us unless we let it. Or unless we go back to the library. Yeah, and none of us are going back there, but it's not like it's going to come after us out here. Only the memories can impact us now. And memories can't hurt you if you don't let them. That's how I feel, anyway. Spoken like someone who definitely won't have repressed trauma about being possessed 5 years from now. Hey, did you see this place has a jacuzzi? Can we try it? I only just turned on the water. I don't think you want to bathe in whatever has been stuck in the pipes for the past 30 years. 30 years? Jesus. We're on bottled water until I get the stuff that comes out of those taps thoroughly tested.
Legit.
I'm sorry again about the library. There's no need to apologize. It's a building, you're a person. You matter more than a pile of stones.
I do kind of wish we could go back for our stuff. But thanks for letting me borrow some of your clothes, Alexis. You can borrow as much as you need. I have plenty of shirts, and you can do the laundry at our house, too.
Of course, there are some family heirlooms I'd rather not lose. Portraits of my parents, my father's mining jacket. I don't like the thought of their last living memories being forgotten in there. And the fact that it stole the library from me, too. That one really stings. But what are you going to do? What's going to happen to your career now that the library is closed? That's a good question. I was up all night wondering the same thing. If things stay the way they are right now, it essentially makes the library... It's essentially like the library burned down. The books are inaccessible. The building is unsalvageable. In that scenario, the county would have to put up the money to build a new archive, or we'd have to move someplace where I can work in an existing library. And Scarlet Hollow would lose a valuable public service. Oscar. Oh man, that sucks.
Move? So you and Rosalina would leave? But we're not doing that, right, Dad? We're staying here.
Is there any way you can just, start over and rebuild the collection? I'm sure folks around town will be willing to pitch in. It would be a lot of work, but that's a possibility. Still, maybe it won't even have to come to that. Have any of you seen Stella? We haven't been able to find her since everyone left the library last night. She hasn't gotten in touch with any of you? No, we have no clue where she's gone. That's not good. I haven't seen her since she ran off last night. I feel terrible. I should have just done a better job warning her, but Stella was practically banging down your door trying to get evidence of ghosts. I don't think you were going to be able to stop her. There was no way you could have known about how she would react when she found it. I don't even think she knew how she'd react. And besides, you didn't know how bad it was going to get. You can't blame yourself for everything, man. I know you probably feel like it's your responsibility to make sure everyone around you is okay, but sometimes that's just not going to be possible. You're only one guy. This is a message to you too, player. That's what Rosalina's always saying. I suppose I do apologize more than I should.
You really do.
Now I'm really starting to worry. It sounds like no one in town has seen her. That doesn't mean something bad happened. But it doesn't exactly sound like it's all sunshine and roses for her either. I'm sure she'll be okay, but you should probably get back to looking for her soon.
Maybe not that bottom.
Yeah. Do you think you have to stay here long term? No, I'll find a way to get the library back, and our house with it. I don't care what it takes, I'm not letting that creature get the last laugh. I've been thinking, as far as I'm aware, there was nothing paranormal going on in Scarlet Hollow before very recently. Now here we are, suddenly surrounded by these weird little goblin creatures in the woods, while entire buildings are taken over by supernatural creatures. You think there was an exciting event, right? I do. That's my thought too. There was never like this in the holler before. Something must have happened that kicked off all this magic stuff. Avery stares at you. I mean, it's obvious, right? Things always started happening once Johnny got here. You're not wrong. Exactly. If there's a catalyst for all of this, why wouldn't it be a lost Scarlet finally coming home to Scarlet Hollow? If I may, Johnny getting into town isn't the only major event that's happened lately. Perlan died over a week ago, and those creatures in the woods were already reproducing by the time he arrived. Not to mention, I started seeing things in our house before Perlan passed. I think. I never thought to make a note of exactly when the spirit made itself known. Whatever the cause of this is, there must be some way to put this genie back in the bottle. I'm going to do my best to find out if there have ever been any similar events, and whether there's anything special about Scarlet Hollow that might explain what's going on. The town archives are, unfortunately, in the library. Rosalina?
Oh, I told you that putting everything online was important. No one uses paper anymore, Dad.
Oh, Rosalina, trying her best to do the work of archiving a whole bunch of stuff.
She is absolutely Gen Z. The kids are Gen Z all the way.
I was just, thinking of beginning of Magnus Archives kind of feel.
Oh, fair.
You were right. It will be my first project if we get the library back. I've learned my lesson. Until then, I'll just have to make do with what I can find online. We'll fill you in on what little we know, so you at least have someplace to start. We've been finding these weird stone seals. There was one in the mines and another in your basement. There might be more. Those are the carvings you mentioned last night, right? To think there was something like that under my house all this time, and to think someone must have put it there. But who? This gives me quite a few threads to follow. Thank you, Johnny. Yeah, that's a good point, because all of that stuff they were flashing back to wasn't happening in the place where they were flashing back to.
Mm-hmm.
So why would this other place be haunted with those memories? I wonder if this could be the work... Oh, hang on. I wonder if this could be the work of some sort of cult. You mentioned something like this at the library the other day. If there was a cult in Scarlet Hollow, I feel like I would know about it. Know any local cults that could be responsible? Let's not get all satanic panic just yet. I know it's not looking unlikely at this point, but having lived in this town all my life, I feel like I would know if there was some sort of cult that ran the place. It just seems like the kind of thing that wouldn't be easy to keep secret in a place as small as Scarlet Hollow. I'd love to be part of some weird religious cult, just to see what kind of stuff they got up to. But alas, I've never been invited, or there are none to be found in the holler.
Oh, Avery.
I don't even know of any in public record. Even in the 70s, when cults were a dime a dozen and hippies were flocking to the hills. Make sure Pixel stays inside or he might get grabbed by ditchlings. The ditchlings are those things from the woods, right? With those faces? Yeah, the Anguish Doughboys. I kind of like them. It's like a hidden object game out there today with all the weird little faces peering out of the bushes. Like them? Are we talking about the same creatures that have been laying eggs in the local wildlife? Artemisia with the point that small town government is often a cult. Yeah, can't really argue there.
Well, small town government here is dogs, so...
Well, small town government's figurehead is a dog, one assumes the town council is not also made up of dogs.
I don't know that they have a town council.
Well,
I think that this town is run by the Scarlets.
fair. Okay. I don't want to get friendly with them or anything. I just think they're kind of interesting. To each their own. Alexis. Yoo-hoo.
Yes, I'm sorry. I've been off my game. I need to focus. Oof. All right. I should have, especially for this bit where I should have known I had a lot of voices. All right. I'm just getting like so wrapped up in hearing you read it.
I mean, that's a nice compliment, but yeah.
Not Pixel. He's the best cat I've ever met. He's like a little dude.
How do we know he didn't get infected already? He was out all night. Is he gonna be okay?
I think some dogs kept him safe, like a gang of dogs. I know it sounds ridiculous, but we saw it with our own eyes. I mean, you could just say a pack of dogs. That is the collective noun for it, right? Like,
Yeah.
a gang of dogs? I suppose stranger things have happened.
This very week.
This very week, in fact. But we'll make sure he stays safe. Right, Rosalina?
I'm not letting him out of my sight ever again.
I think there's something in the clinic. There was this door yesterday, and I could feel something pulling me towards it. You didn't mention anything like that yesterday. I see. I'll dig up what I can on the clinic. There's a lot of history there. I wouldn't be surprised if there was something haunting that place as well. You have a friend that lives there, right? Should we tell them that something bad might happen in this house? He might want to stay someplace else for now if the last few nights are any indication. Yeah, I can shoot Reese a warning text, but I don't know if his mom will let him leave. She's got an iron grip on the poor dude, and she's probably even more of a skeptic than I am. Or was. Haha, Reese mentioned a movie night, right? It's the perfect cover for an investigation. Who knows if that would fly with Dr. Kelly, though. After last night, I'm pretty sure she's not going to let us anywhere near her house. She's the only doctor in town. She can't just ban people from the clinic, right? I don't think so, but hopefully nobody gets sick or hurt enough to justify a visit over the next couple of days. If we're going to investigate the clinic, I think we're going to have to break in. Whoa, that is unexpected coming from you. It's what Stella would do, and she's been 3 for 3 this week when it comes to finding spooky stuff. She's also been 3 for 3 when it comes to finding her way into mortal peril. This is why we have to find her as soon as possible. It shouldn't fall on me to suggest when we do something dangerous. I'm terrible at selling it. It's not that I don't think we should figure out what's going on in there. We just need to be cautious about what we do next. We don't want anyone to get attacked or possessed by any more ghosts, even if it is to help a friend. I don't know if we have time to play it safe. Just give me a day or two to do some research before you do anything rash, okay? There's a 2 that's missing there, and it's awkward because it's TWOTODO all in a row.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what it is, so.
Typos happen.
Yep. Sounds like you've got something to work on now. We should get back to looking for Stella. I do. Thanks for the lead, Johnny. See you around, Oscar. Let us know what you find. I will. We're going to get the library back, and we're going to figure out how to fix whatever's wrong with this town. So that's Oscar. Any other ideas? Let's go to the cops. We should go to the cops, right?
It's worth it for the conversation.
Are you sure? Nothing against the officers of Scarlet Hollow, but you've met them, right? You think it's worth the trouble? As unhelpful as they are, we are dealing with a missing person. That's cop stuff. It's probably going to be more of a formality than anything, but there's no point in not covering all our bases. The police station is exactly what you would expect from a town the size of Scarlet Hollow. It smells strongly of coffee and faintly of aged furniture and paper, and the general tidiness speaks of a department that doesn't get much of anything done. But you're also not alone here. You enter to find a worried Beau standing between you and the officer behind the desk. Big Betty wasn't just a pumpkin, Deputy Franklin, sir. She was gonna be a prize winner. Raising her was the last thing me and my daddy did together. She's important to our family. The Scarlet Hollow police are spread pretty thin at this moment, young man. Any property disputes will have to wait, if indeed there is a dispute to be had. Are you sure it wasn't some animal that took your vegetable? Mineral? Sir, you know Mr. Tremaine thinks that land belongs to him. He probably thought Big Betty was his to take. He ain't coming to his door, so for all I know, he might be all the way to the state fair by now with our pumpkin. Ain't there something you can do about it? Oh, I know an alternate voice I could do for him, but I'm not going to do it. Never mind. We'll see. Hang on. I can call him out as being the mayor's security guy. Hey, doesn't this town have 3 cops? Where's the other 2 at? Haven't you heard? There's a nasty strike going on in the mines. Miss Scarlet's asked us to try and bring the temperature down a bit. And I drew the short straw for being stuck on desk duty. Bring the temperature down? I'm sorry, are Earl and Dennis working for the town, or are they working for Tabitha? I'd rather not get into it right now, Miss Forsyth. Now, is there something I can help you with, or do you just come to the station to chit-chat? I'll do this one. Hey, I remember you from yesterday. You're the mayor's security guy. We also met on Monday. Cops to bring the temperature of a strike down, Artemisia? More to just make sure that, I guess that if any violence happens, it can be blamed on the citizenry and not on the mine. Because the cops will say whatever, I guess. I don't know. I'm a man of many hats, and all of them give me authority over you, so you best watch yourself. He's ahead of us in line, so I'll do his first. Hey, Beau, did you manage to find your dad? Beau's stoic expression breaks, and for a moment you can almost see tears forming in his eyes, but he blinks them away.
Poor guy.
Yeah. I found him. Artemisia, I don't think it would be full on throwing gas on it because the cops would be so outnumbered at that point.
Yeah, also these cops are not, their failure mode is generally incompetence rather than violent assault.
Yeah, think Mayberry more than, like, you know, actual cops during mine protests.
Yeah.
I've gathered what there was to gather. We're giving him a proper burial in the family plot. It's been tough going trying to dig the hole whilst the farm is still crawling with those hairless things, but it needs to get done. You think they'll go back where they came from soon? Mama and me have tried to find them back as best we can, but it seems like there's more every minute.
Wow.
Halloween in a few days and they really set the mood. Yikes. I'm gonna go with I know about as much as you. With regard to that,
Yeah.
I can't help but feel like it's all just leading up to some awful thing. Worse than what's already happened. I hope it's just a feeling.
I don't think it is.
Sadly, probably not. Probably not just a feeling. Okay. The glare from the light behind me is actually kind of difficult, but I'm working on it. You might not be wrong. Things have been getting weird around Scarlet Hollow lately. Just something to keep in mind. And if the past couple nights are any indication, it's only going to get weirder. My mom did say the ditchlings are supposed to be some sort of horrible omen, but that doesn't mean it's true. Ah.
Alright.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. There's just a smudge I can't get rid of until I actually clean it with, like, cleaning stuff. So.
Oh, fair. I've been there.
Yeah, but we're closing in on the end, so I'm not going to bother for now. For all we know, the weird stuff is behind us, and those creepy little things will crawl back to wherever they came from, and Scarlet Hollow will go back to normal. But I guess it doesn't hurt to plan for the worst. I want to remind you all that you're speaking in front of a member of the law enforcement, and any and all suspicious statements are being cataloged. Seriously? Do you really not have anything better to do than try to pin disasters on the innocent people who are trying to stop them? Normal indeed. Well said, Artemisia. I'm not at liberty to discuss whether I have anything better to do.
Sorry, my scoff was at that line.
Yeah. Okay. The important one. Stella ran off last night and she's still missing. Missing person? Apologies, Mr. Calloway, but I'm gonna have to handle this first. Deputy Franklin pulls out a few forms from the front desk and holds them out. If one of you could fill these out, please. I can take care of that. Thank you so much for taking this seriously, Mike. I know Stella has a tendency to go on hiking trips, but this feels different. She can't be in her right mind going back out into them woods after what happened to my daddy. Come on, there's got to be more you can do than just give us paperwork. My orders are to man the station, but I'll be sure to start an investigation as soon as I'm relieved. The Scarlet Hollow police are doing all that we can. What's all this about a pumpkin? Julius Tremaine stole Big Betty, and I'm trying to get the police to talk to him. And I've been telling Mr. Calloway that there's no way to prove who the vegetable in question belonged to. If there's no documentation, it's your word against his. The Calloways and Tremaines have been at this a long time. Some feud from over a century ago split the families, and they've been at it ever since.
Popular fan theory is that next chapter will deal with the Calloway and Tremaine homesteads and their feud.
Interesting. What makes you think Julius stole it? He's been claiming Big Betty was his since day one, on account of he thinks it was planted on his side of the property. He's never been good about the property line, same as every Tremaine that came before him. We get our fair share of calls from Mr. Tremaine as well. Not that I'm at liberty to discuss confidential police information. I was hoping we'd get a reprieve from his nonsense after what happened to Daddy, but it don't look like he's willing to give us any time to grieve. You know, Julius is a friend of mine. He's a lot of things, and he's definitely a bit of a curmudgeon, but I've never pegged him as a thief. I didn't know Julius ever talked to anybody. Talk is a strong word, but I like to think we have some kind of understanding. Why is this pumpkin so valuable? She was going to get us a blue ribbon. Daddy said she was near 2,000 pounds. A ton? A 1-ton pumpkin? Dang.
Mm-hmm. Very big.
I guess 2,000 pounds isn't quite a... Well, it's a short ton, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Anyway. We was supposed to be at the state fair by now, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen this year. And Mr. Tremaine ain't even coming to his door to answer for what he done. Just hold up like the coward he is. At the very least, he could give me back some seeds from what's left of her so I can try again next year.
She was an important pumpkin to our family. 1 second. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Ah. You know, I haven't seen him since Tuesday. He's usually in the diner every day. Not necessarily a big deal for a lot of people, but he never misses his morning Joe. So maybe he isn't a thief. Could be something happened to him. If he ain't the thief, then who stole our pumpkin? Beats me. I just don't think folks should be so quick to jump to conclusions. How do you even move a 2,000-pound pumpkin?
Valid question.
I don't know how he did it, but he did it. Alright, I'm shutting this door.
Huh?
I'm shutting the door.
Okay. Oh, is it for the Scaries?
Yeah, I moved it to an earlier time now.
Do you want a game?
No, no game.
Okay.
Sorry about that. It could have easily. It could have easily been a bear or a mountain lion. Really, any large animal.
Also, Artemisia, I'm pretty sure they were gonna hitch it to their truck.
Yeah, no, I think he had some sort of rig that they were going to use to pull it onto the truck, and then from there. But I don't know.
Or like on a separate platform thingy behind the truck. Haul it.
Yeah. Weren't no bear. We're hunting folk. We know the signs. This was a man's work, and that means it was Mr. Tremaine. He knew just what to do to hurt our family. I mean, it is a classic Southern family dispute, but
Yeah. It's not necessarily a helpful thing to say.
I'm sorry for everything that's happened, Bill. No, Artemisia, you're right. They had a plan, and so could someone else. Indeed, and that's what he's probably saying, is that, like, you know, I could see signs that they used equipment that might have been similar to the one I would have used, but anyway. I appreciate that, thank you. I'll try not to let it get to me. Gotta be strong for Mama now that it's just the two of us. You know, Mike, it sounds like Bo has a real case here. It's not just two neighbors getting angry at each other. Property's been stolen. Could you get involved on his behalf just this once, after everything he's been through? This isn't the first time there's been a theft between the Callaways and Tremaines. We've heard it all. We know exactly how it'll play out. Trust the police to do the policing, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. As I'm sure everyone here is very trusting of that.
What would it take for the cops to get involved? Why, you looking to escalate the situation? None of us are planning on doing any escalating. We're just asking questions. Good. Let's keep it that way. I promise I won't do nothing bad, Mr. Deputy, sir. You know, even if Julius didn't take Big Betty, it might be worth doing a welfare check. Or wellness check, maybe? There we go. Look, kid, I'd love to help, but the sheriff has a standing order to not set foot on the Tremaine homestead. The man loves his booby traps. It's never stopped me. I don't make the rules. You'll have to take it up with Sheriff Hugby. If I may, sir, ain't that a mite bit cowardly of you? I thought police officers were supposed to be brave. This isn't about courage, Mr. Calloway. This is about public safety. And it's about the sheriff's judgment and authority outweighing my own. Look, I've been to Julius's 100 times. I can tag along and make sure nobody gets hurt. Look, I'll pass it along when he gets back, but he has his hands full right now. I can't make any promises.
don't really need to bother with either of those. Those are silly questions.
Yeah, if you ask him if he's part of a cult, he's like,
I'm not at liberty
what?
to
You
say.
mean like, I don't remember exactly what he says. You mean like something that's actually not real, or like hippies or something fake like that? And it's really
Yeah. Well, the Audubon Society is clearly a cult because birds aren't real, so, you know. Anyway, let's just get going. Kanika hands the completed report back to Deputy Franklin. Thank you, ma'am. I'll get this filed right away. Good luck out there. I hope Miss Richmond is all right and you'll find her soon. Silently walk out of the precinct. As you make your way back toward the door, the deputy calls out to you. Best keep your nose clean out there, Johnny. Try to stay out of trouble.
Alright.
Achievement unlocked. Why won't they just do their jobs?
The one nice thing about Chapter 4 is that in the first half of Chapter 4, there are lots of good breakpoints because between every scene is a good breakpoint.
Yep. And we are coming up on one now, so yeah. Well, at least we filed a report. Still, I guess finding Still is going to mostly be up to us. We've got to find out what's been going on with Julius, too. He's been missing from the diner for a few days. It's weird. He usually comes in every single day. Maybe he's preoccupied with ditchlings? I just hope he's okay. One problem at a time. Yeah, where to next? Where to next is we save and call it a day.
Yeah. And so you can go through all of the rest of those, and after every one of those scenes is a good breakpoint. But, well, I'll tell you more next time. But like once the final thing for this chapter is going to investigate the clinic, and then that's like an extended scene that is the remainder of the chapter.
That makes sense.
So
Okay,
probably we can do the other half of these next week, and then probably one more week to get through the end bit.
Oh, okay. I mean, you didn't just, like... Okay,
I don't
we'll
think
see.
we can do all of the rest of the chapter in 2 hours.
Yeah, that's fair. Artemisia pointing out that the recap was very long because it had to be, because it was
That's
summing
also
up
true.
3 sections of the game. But,
Yeah. But even with that, like the scene with, the scene with Sybil can be shorter or longer depending on how you handle some things, but still feel like this, well, we'll see, we'll see how it goes next week, and then I can advise based on how that goes.
Sure.
I guess I've done the chapter in 4 hours before.
Yeah. Probably, it's certainly somewhere between 4 and 6, so, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Anyway, alright, so, we're going to call it a night. This is a good first earlier evening Sunday Scaries stream, and I look forward to doing the others as well after this. And once we finish Scarlet Hollow, I think I'm going to do Choo Choo Charles, which should be a lot of fun and very, very terrifying. But may only be, like, if I'm good at the game, I can do it all in one day, but we'll see. So, probably at least 2 sessions for that. Anyway, alright. But for now, have a good night, everyone. Stay spooky out there.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I was gonna do the you enjoyed doing it last time. The outro from Count Duckula.
Oh, yes. The good night out there, whatever you are.
Yes, very good. Okay, bye.